riding down Highway 61. Sides of the roads all lined with fields, nothing but sunset in the windshield. Feel it as soon as I ride into town. This is where I go to slow down. Miles and miles of soybeans and corn. I'm in the place where the blues was born. About a mile from the big muddy river, place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel my worries drift away from being out in the sun all day. No matter where in the world I go, I'll always find home on the banks of that oxbow.
What's up, guys? Justin Barry here at the Crappie Connection. Got my sidekick.
Brad Chappell here.
We are back here doing our thing here at the Grizzly Jig Show 2020. Sitting here in the new building here.
Man, it's awesome.
It is going to be. It's going to be epic when they get it all done.
Yeah, I cannot wait to 2021 Grizzly Jig Show. It's going to be the biggest forever that's ever happened, no doubt.
That is for sure. The guy that's sitting right between me and Brad, good friend of ours now. We got to know him a lot more. He's on board with Crappie Connection here. Mark Riddle, Cornfield Crappie, man. Welcome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Whole bunch. Guys, if you tune in, if you don't know Mark, I'm sure you will after this episode, man. He engineers a lot of great products for rod holders, depth finders, everything. He's got some new products he's going to show here, one that he's really proud of right below our feet here. But why don't you tell us the backstory of the guys that do know you that don't know the history of what became Cornfield Crappie?
I fished as a kid a little bit and really liked the crappie fishing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got working, couldn't fish anymore. Got to Kentucky Lake for vacations, run into a guy. I get a little broke up on this because the good Lord has put me where I am.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. This guy offered to take me fishing. We went out, didn't know him, come off the water, best friends, got back into crappie fishing, got going to Kentucky Lake all the time, vacations, weekends, this and that. And the shop was getting a little slow up in Illinois. We weren't doing as good as we were doing, and so I started making a few things I needed for my boat, depth finder mounts, this, that, messing around. A friend of mine come to me, and he had these paddles that he got from a guy or was trying to get from a guy, and he couldn't get them. The guy wouldn't make them, whatever. And he's like, "Can you make these?" And I thought, oh, I fooled with it. The drift paddles that we done in the beginning, we messed with that. And my buddies had them, and this buddy wanted one, that buddy wanted one. I started messing with some depth finder mounts to put on my units on my boat. Then this guy wanted one, that guy wanted one.
This guy over here wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I done something special for Brad when he built a new boat, fixed him up on what he needed, just a custom deal. And I'm up in the middle of Illinois, in the middle of cornfields, man. It's just, it just gets me, man. I can't believe I'm here.
Oh yeah, you're doing it, man.
I can't believe it.
You're doing it.
My wife and I talk about it all the time. How did we get here, man? How did we get?
Yep.
This is just, and great people. It just blows my mind. And I'm up in the middle of cornfields. I'm building this stuff coming to Kentucky Lake, and I'm on the phone or texting with some buddies of mine. Man, why don't we do them website deals? I mean, how do you sell stuff on the web? I don't know. You know, we're kicking this around. Oh, I mean, we need a name. Well, what are you gonna call it? I don't know. I mean, we're giving names back and forth, texting back and forth, and I'm sitting there and looking out the window. I'm thinking, I'm in the middle of cornfields trying to make crappie gear, and I sent that out to my buddies. Like, oh, let's do that. Well, I tell everybody, if I'd have known we was going to go this far, we'd have had a better name.
I like it.
We're trying to do some stuff in the bass world and that, and they're not really as receptive because we're crappie. But we're working on that. We'll see what we can come up with. We got some ideas, but it's just from one thing to another. Just, you know, this is my third year setting up at Grizzly Jig, and I got to thank Lance and Wade and Louie for allowing me to come in and get in front of the right people at the right time and crappie fishing's growing so much right now, so fast, and for me to have been able to get stepped in when I did, you know, what you guys are doing is a great thing for crappie fishing. It's just
Appreciate it.
it's awesome.
Same here.
Well, it's a domino effect for sure. I mean, let's talk about some of the mounts that you're offering. You know, the double stack. And what can you do on a normal basis without being really customized? Which are your standard mounts?
We got we figure them by the arm length to get the height that you need. We got a 6, an 8, a 10, and a 12, and we do that in single mounts and a double mount. And the double mount come around when 360 started getting big. Everybody wanted to keep a unit for mapping, and then they wanted to see their 360. So we're trying to figure out. And I thought, well, why don't we just do like this and that? And we went with big bolts, and we went with 2 arms and all this to make it bigger. And it's turned on to, that's probably one of our largest selling items is a double mount of some sorts. And now we're, with live scope coming on, everybody's wanting them up higher. So we're doing a 12-inch arm, and then one of the guys, a friend of mine, come to me about this telescoping deal. I'm like, I don't know about getting them up there like that, but we built it. Man, that's
Seller, huh?
oh yeah.
That's one of the things I can see where live scoping is going to be really handy to come in, because me myself, as I'm standing up, that unit is so far away. You've got to bend down, adjust it. With a mount like this, you can pretty much stand right there and keep on top of it.
There's some guys all they want or all they can get's the 9-inch, you know, the 93 or I guess they got a 94 now, and those are good units. They work great, but it's a little bit harder to see. So if you can get it up off the floor and get it a little bit closer to your eyes, and of course a lot of the guys fishing are getting a little older, a little harder to see, so that helped them quite a bit.
How far does it come up again?
39 inches.
39 inches. That's good. Now, how many products do you have that's already? Do you remember a number?
No, a bunch. It just the inventory we have and the pieces and the parts laying around the shop. It just amazes me that every time you turn around, oh, we need this, and we add that, and I don't know. I don't have a clue how many pieces we got.
How many models? Do you know? What about models? I mean models.
Well, the mounts, so we actually started doing a little 4-inch mount for the guys, a 4-inch arm for the guys on these center consoles, because they can't have the mount real tall, so we done that. So we got 4-inch, 6, 8, 10 in singles and doubles. And then now we got the double stack telescope. We got the single telescoping mount. And then we got what we call the rocket launchers. We got one that holds 4 rods, one that holds 8. Then we got, well, I call them the vertical rod rack, but your rods are actually horizontal for transport. We got one that holds 8 and another set that holds 10. And then you get into all the cable saver stuff, and the original live scope mount was kind of a souped up cable saver when we mounted it onto the shaft of the trolling motor. So we got that for both of those, the cable saver and the live scope mount fits pretty much every trolling motor we can come up with. So I don't know.
Now, if somebody calls you, let's just say John Doe calls you up, said he wants something, do you pretty much customize anything that somebody calls in, or do you have to have?
We can sometimes. It depends how busy we are. This time of year, I can't take on anything like that. We thought we had inventory going into January, but not so much now.
I want you to touch back, and it's one of the things I've used for years on my boat is the rocket launchers. I'll go through and actually tell them what that is, because I think that you might
throw somebody off.
Might not know what that actually is.
Anybody, I don't. You guys know Dale. Not everybody knows Dale. Dale Wellingham. We got to be good friends. He comes in the shop and helps us out, and he had this big idea that he wanted to put this holder up on the front of the boat, so when he's spider rigging, he could move. You know, if you got to move in a tournament, you don't have a lot of time, so you can't take them all down and all this and that. I mean, you can, but you're killing yourself. So he just wanted to take them out of the racks and stand them up. So we done that with an 8-pole. We just built the blocks, and I used pretty much the same stuff we was using on the other rod rack, just reconfigured some things. We made it where it went in the pedestal seat hole in the floor. If you're running 2 seats, you had the one in the middle. And then I got another guy, Buddy Coy, and he's actually a Crappie Masters Kentucky Lake champion. He comes in the shop. He does all our photography and all that stuff for the website now. He's like, man, I need that, but he needed it for 4 poles. He wanted to put, because he's a single pole guy, so he wanted to put 4 on one side for him and 4 on the other side for his partner, so that he wanted to have them backed up. So when he's single poling, if he breaks off, he grabs another one. If he needs, and you can rig them up, rig each rod up differently and have them.
Yeah.
Well, now with live scope, that's the ticket.
Yep.
you might have 4 poles rigged differently, because when you're throwing it and that fish isn't taking it, you're moving to something smaller or something bigger or something shinier or something different.
Just like
color.
bass fishing.
Yeah, so that's how that all come about. It's a deal. It's plastic and aluminum, mounts on the floor, and you can stick your rod butts in it, and they stand straight up.
And I know from my side, like I said, I'm a guide, but untangling poles, whether I'm fishing a tournament or I'm taking clients out to fish, if I'm back there fooling with this pole for 15 minutes getting them untangled, these rocket launchers end that frustration.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people on the boat that you're guiding that's maybe, they're not, they haven't been on a boat a whole lot, and you got your stuff laying down there and they accidentally step on them.
Right. I've had broken poles in the past too.
Yeah, so that'll help that.
Keep the rods going, keep them rotated.
Yeah. Just stay out of the trees.
What about
bridges too? I've learned that.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, do you do installation for customers? Or?
Well, what I like to offer, if guys are close as they can, because everybody's setup's different. Rod racks, boat setup, mounts, everything. So we'll have guys bring their boat in. We'll make an appointment. And they'll back it in, and they can sit in the seat, and we can say, do you want this height or you want that height? Do you want to put this here? You want to do that there? I don't really do. I'll help bolt their stuff up, but I don't do wires, man. Don't even put.
Man, that's a headache.
I can't.
I don't
get. I'm not smart enough for that, so I don't do any wiring. We don't do anything with electronics, but we try to help them out and get them custom set up. What we got, not really a custom part, but help them get it customized to fit what they need.
And then you just screw it in.
Yeah, bolt it up, turn them down the road, send them down to one of the guys that do installations of electronics, and let them do that. So
I don't blame you.
I can't.
That's a headache.
Now tell us about your greatest. Everybody is following Cornfield Crappie, following Mark during this whole live scope episode extravaganza that's going on. You've created a what's it called again?
The live sweep.
Live sweep
for a remote scope.
Yeah. Now the guys, it's all on Facebook. You've done a lot of videos with everybody.
Yeah.
But the guys that haven't tuned in yet, why don't you go into a show and tell real quick of what exactly is going on with it?
We got one. I brought one here. It's pretty simple. We just got a motor in the top, a gearbox. I wanted it gear driven so that it would be a little stronger than just having a motor on there. It's 12 volt. We got a remote control board that you'll mount up underneath in one of your compartments. All you got to do is run 12 volts to it, a positive and a negative, and then our stuff is all plug and play. It'll just plug in, and we got a set of pedals on the floor that are wired into the board, so you can step on it with your foot to be hands-free and turn it, or we have a little small key fob style remote control that you can push the button and make it turn left or right.
Yeah, grab that real quick. Guys, right here they can look.
Yeah, there's our pedals.
Got the pedals. You turn right, you turn left. Pretty simple.
Yep.
And then you got the remote on you?
Yeah. There's the board. That's all there is. It's 5x5 square and about an inch and a quarter thick, so you can mount it up underneath somewhere.
Yeah.
And here's the little key fob to drive it. And then we got connectors that will
pretty much pull it back up like a trolling motor.
Yeah, I got it mounted to the trolling motor, and I had two reasons I wanted to put it on the trolling motor. I wanted it as far forward on the boat as you can get. I didn't want it back. Some of them are back. Some of these guys are doing the ones, they're back behind, and to me, you put the trolling motor between you and the fish. So I wanted this to be as far forward as I could get it, and if you put it on the trolling motor, it'll easily go in and out. When you put the trolling motor, you're always going to put the trolling motor in, so when you put the trolling motor in,
you don't forget it.
One motion to deploy to.
Because I know if I had one hanging on the side of the boat, I'd screw up and leave it on there and put the boat on the trailer.
Oh, that's sounds about like me.
I'd have a wreck. So that was.
Justin. I said that sounds like Justin.
Oh yeah, I'm always leaving stuff on my boat. Brand new shades. I leave everything down, man.
And then on our pedals there, the company that builds the board for me is building us a board to go in the pedal, and they'll have a battery in it to run that. So you'll be able to have the pedals on the floor, and they'll be wireless. And that's turning into be what everybody's interested in, because obviously you don't want any more wires or stuff on the deck that you don't need up there. So
now, the first thing I just thought of is, as far as a customer, what kind of warranty you do on your products?
Well, we back up all of our stuff. I try to tell everybody we're 100% guarantee. I mean, to an extent, if you go out and completely abuse it, then we're going to look at it and we'll see what we can do. But our stuff, we've got it engineered where I'm pretty sure we're not going to have any problems with it. The remote, most electrical stuff, once you open it, it's what it is what it is when they, but, and the motors, they say they're like 6 months or a year warranty is what they're putting on the motor. So we're going to back it all up. If it's a motor, then we'll have to see what I can do with the motor company. But our stuff, if it's broke, even if you break it on hitting a stump or something, get a hold of me and we'll see what we can do to
That's awesome.
make the parts you need or replace what you need. And I mean, it might be a little small charge in it for whatever, but we'll just fix what you need and get you back going.
You know what's so impressive to me? You hear about people starting companies and this and that, but this is American-made product. This is our people in our country making these products. So, man,
we're proud of that. We're proud of that, and basically what we're trying to do is just keep us busy in the shop. When we were in Illinois, we were tied to the automotive industry pretty heavily, and we done really well for a while. But when they crashed, we crashed, and then there wasn't any place else to go looking for any work because most of the places I'd worked for, I've been running my shop since '97, and most of the places we worked for were gone. So we just. I mean, again, I'm just lucky. I don't know. I'm blessed. I don't know what else to say. Man, how better can it be?
Yeah.
I live on Kentucky Lake. My shop is around the corner from the house. I drive a freaking Polaris Ranger to work every day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We're so close. Yeah, we're so close to the lake we can hear the boats at the shop. I mean, we can't see them for the houses and the trees, but I mean, it takes me less than 5 minutes to put my boat in the water. I'm on Kentucky Lake and fishing. I mean, it don't get any better.
Now I've seen some videos of your shop. I mean, your shop's pretty precise. I mean, you got computers in there cutting everything. It's not nothing like just
we're
hand cut with metal or anything. It's precise engineering.
Yeah, this is all I've ever done since high school. Back in my day when we was in high school, we had the classes. There was a machine shop class I took, and it was interesting. And I ended up getting a job because I had learned a little bit in high school. It got me my first job, and then this is all I've ever done. And I worked at a company in Champaign that was, we built scientific research instruments that were designed at the University of Illinois, and these guys went out on their own and started this company. And I was 21, 22 years old, didn't know what I was doing I knew how to do the machine work, but I didn't really grasp what all we were doing there. And I still think back to this day, the stuff that I learned there that I'm using now, because we built stuff literally off of a bar napkin. We drew things up when we went to have beers, and then the next morning, because we had guys that was PhDs and they were super good guys, they had no clue how to put the nut and the bolt together. Right. So they come down to me, and a friend of mine, Bruce Glass, was the engineer there, and I got to do the prototype machine work, and I learned how to start something from a drawing and engineer it and go on. I'm not an educated engineer, but I learned from some great people back, and I didn't know really what I was learning until now. I think back, man, that's how we used to do.
Yeah. So now, speak of, do you focus on one type of metal for all your products?
Mostly everything's out of aluminum because it's just lighter weight.
Stronger and lighter, right?
Yeah, and it's easy to machine, but then all of our mounts and stuff, we have anodized put on it, which is an electrical chemical process that keeps it from corroding and makes it nice. And then we use stainless for hardware just because on the water.
I'm curious because I work in transportation. Where do you order all that metal from?
Oh, there's all kinds of places. We get a lot of ours out of, I think it comes out of Memphis, Alro Steel.
Memphis?
Yeah.
Is it like a price? Like do you price before you buy from everywhere?
I do, but not anymore. I'm kind of old school on it. When I get somebody that's going to give me good service
and take care of you,
and I got a tool steel guy that we've used tool steel when we used to do dies and tooling and all that I've been buying off of him. He cold called me about 3 years into my business, and they just took care of me, and I just don't go anywhere else. I mean. If you're getting good service, if you're getting good service, why would you?
Well, I'll screw it up.
And I've had times where I've quoted stuff, and another company might be $300 cheaper on a $7,000 order of material, but what's $300 if I got a problem and I can't get it took care of? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of stick with what I got. I mean, they quote it because I need to know what the prices are, but it's not like I'm trying to beat them up on price.
I got you.
Same thing that people come to you and they buy. They're buying from Mark. They're not buying from somebody who knows where. But they can call you back up and say, hey, man, this is not working for me right now.
Yep.
This has happened. Customer service is still what drives companies to succeed, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I had a guy call me, it's probably 2 years ago now. It was like at 7:30 at night, and Paula gets on me to leave the phone alone. But sometimes I can't, you know. So this guy calls, I answer the phone. He goes, man, I can't believe you answered. I'm like, then why did you call? But, you know, but he's going on, and he had an issue with something. I don't even remember what it was, and we talked about it. And he said, man, I can't believe the customer service on this. He says, I worked for Caterpillar. You know who I see? I know who Caterpillar was. I mean, I was in Illinois. Caterpillar was Peoria, Illinois. Man, that's the home of it. I know about Caterpillar. He says, I'm out west here, but I'm a rep and this and that. And he says, I can't believe your customer service. You called and you called me back and all this and that. He says, at the next meeting, we're going to have a talk about this. Our customer service needs to be like the small mom and pop shop.
You know, in my line of job and everything, it's so hard. It's so hard to find the great customer service in any job field. But once you it's an ease of mind once you pick up the phone and you know you're going to get that answer.
We're dealing with a man at that point.
Yeah. So I mean, the customer service is hard work, and my hats off to you for that. You know,
it can be difficult. I had a guy tear me up the other day because I screwed up and I didn't get the order out. It was laid on my desk. And that's when we went to Oklahoma. I got back from Oklahoma. I'm like, oh, man. We got that one done. And, boy, he tore me up about my terrible customer service and this and that. But, hey, we're not perfect, you know.
I don't know.
We're doing the best we can, and we try really hard to take care of everybody. And I feel like we do. We get a lot of people telling us that, they appreciate what we do and this and that. But, you know, I guess we're not 100%, but we're trying.
Just human, man. You're knocking it out. Is there? Do you have anything else up your sleeve that you want to?
Oh, we got a couple little add-ons we're going to do for this live sweep thing.
You want to share it with us or what?
I suppose.
All right. Let her rip.
Well,
tater chip.
You know, we do some stuff with Matt from 3 Pound Fishing. He's been good for us. And, of course, Big T and Mike, you know, they're in and out of the shop. Mike's in the shop all the time, especially in the summertime.
They don't live too far from you, right?
No, they're not
live
too
on a lake
far
as
away.
well.
But, you know, Mike runs his masonry business, so when it's hot, he comes over to the shop because we got air conditioning.
Yeah.
So he's hanging out with us. But I get ideas from those guys, and Tony and Matt are wanting some kind of a quick disconnect so that they can take the live scope transducer off of the sweep pole and put it onto the trolling motor. Their theory is, and I shouldn't tell this is top secret crappie fishing stuff here, you know.
Top secret podcast.
They're going to go out and tournament fish, brush piling, and try and catch their fish. And then they feel like on some days, on some conditions, the bigger fish are scattered. So they want to run them down. You know, this hunting them down has turned into a big deal. You know, we used to do the spider rigging and the brush pile fishing, and these young boys are hunting them down and catching big ones. So that's
winning.
So a quick connect from the transducer, from the live sweep straight to
we're gonna work on that.
That'd be a good product, man. That's a great idea.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What about rod holders? Do you guys build any rod holders right now?
Like T-bars?
Yeah.
No, we did some, but that was with another company and we kind of parted ways with. So no, I thought about it, but we haven't really done too much on that yet.
Gotcha. Was there anything else you'd like to add before we kind of shut down?
I just, again, unbelievable the great people in crappie fishing. Man, it just blows my mind. Everywhere I go, it's just, and I keep meeting more people, and everybody you meet are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Is it this morning at the hotel?
Read my mind, man. You read my mind.
We go down, of course, and get the free breakfast, and sitting there eating, and there's some people, and they were totally amazed about the different guys in crappie fishing that are at the Grizzly Jig Show, and they were just like, man, we cannot believe how friendly everybody is and is willing to help. And so my suggestion, if you're getting into crappie fishing or have been doing it forever and want to learn some more, come to Grizzly Jig 2021. Do not miss this show coming up. If you want to learn and become a better crappie fisherman, you got to be here.
And
free seminars.
They'll talk to you. The first time I came down here, we were going to go to Lake Washington. First time, and I'd never been there before, and we were all excited because it was like a couple weeks after the Grizzly show, and this has been 5 or 6 years ago. First time I come down just to go to the store, and we're like, man, what colors do we need? What do we need to do for Lake Washington? And we went up to one of the tackle vendors, and we're telling them we're going to go to Lake Washington, and we don't know what we need. And they pointed over to a couple of the guys that were pro fishermen, what I would consider pro fishermen. They've won crappie masters more than once. go ask those guys. So I walked over there, and I kind of felt weird about it. I mean, why are they going to tell me?
Yeah.
They told me where to put in, where to go, how to go about it. This is what you need. I'm like, wow, this is.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't stop there. Everywhere you go, I mean, even at a tournament, go fish a tournament. And if you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody. They'll tell you. They'll help you.
And that's exactly what that woman said this morning versus, I mean, I'm not calling it out here, but versus bass fishermen versus crappie fishermen. Crappie fishermen tend to tell, you know, they teach more. They're better teachers.
Yep, absolutely.
For
And,
sure.
I mean, you're going to help your competitor get to the lake to fish a tournament because you want to beat him on the water.
Mm-hmm. Fair and square.
It ain't no good to win if Captain Coleman's not there and I won. Yeah, so what?
Mm-hmm.
I want to beat the good guys. I want to beat you.
Mm-hmm. Pop again.
Or and one more thing, anything else you want to add before we cut off?
No, just thank everybody for everything, man.
Yeah,
Just,
me and Brad and Hunter especially want to thank you for coming on board.
I want to thank you guys. This has been one of my goals, was to be able to do this.
That's awesome, man.
I got a kick. Russ Bailey come to the shop, and we rigged a boat for him, and we ate dinner the other night, and he's like, man, I have to tell you, Mark, he says, when we were on our way to go there, I was picturing this little garage and, you making some parts in there. So we walked in and we're like, holy cow. I said, yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
I get that. But
Go big.
Go big or go home.
It's just the stuff we've had for years. And I didn't buy the machinery to do fishing, but now we've kind of switched gears and doing fishing, and that's most of what we do now.
Well, that's awesome.
Look out.
Well, than that, guys, Grizzly Jig Show 2020. Make sure you make it down here for 2021. Hopefully in a new building here, I'm sure.
Yep.
Other than that, Mark Riddle, Cornfield Crappie, appreciate you coming on. I'm Justin Berry.
Brad Chapel here.
We'll see y'all.
Holla.
About a mile from Big Muddy River, a place I'll always remember. Cabin on the lake and a fishing pole. Forever here I'll rest my soul. I can feel my worries drift